What's this? My eyes were glued to a slightly different pile of paper, full of very neat handwriting. I thought it was a journal. My curious soul made me take a few sheets of paper and then read the contents. The creature? I left the room and headed to my room. I immediately rested, because tomorrow I will go back to class. Today, I already intend to visit Sherlie's house again. Mr. Kim also promised to take me there. Coincidentally, today is a holiday. So Mr. Kim was willing to take me there. He heating his car in the yard.
Are you ready to go there?
I'm ready. I immediately got into the car. The car we were riding started to move towards the highway. We left the Wesleyan University complex, drove fast and arrived at the Southeast Washington Boulevard area. Suddenly, I remembered the papers and photos I found in the warehouse at that time. I wonder if the man in the photo is Mr. Sean. Mr. Kim, is Mr. Sean you told me about as a marine researcher?
How do you know? Mr. Sean is a teacher at the Faculty of Marine Biology, so his job is to research the sea.
Has Mr. Sean ever been to the Pacific Ocean? Mr. Kim paused, looking shocked, and glanced at me.
Has anyone told you anything about Mr. Sean?
I'm just guessing. A marine researcher must have been to the ocean. I slightly lying so as not to make him suspicious. He then turned his gaze back to the road.
Mr. Sean is also often asked to research the oceans by the military, for the purposes of scientific data. You know, after returning home from researching the ocean, he was declared to have a severe hallucination disorder that sent him to the mental recovery center.
Would you tell me Mr. Sean's story? Mr. Kim then told all the events that happened to Mr. Sean. I listened carefully to all the stories. Indeed, I think the story about Mr. Sean is making no sense. No wonder he was sent to the Mental Illness Recovery Center in Oklahoma City.
I've visited him a few times where he's being treated. Surprisingly, he is not crazy. He's completely normal like us. In fact, he still had time to ask about the state of the university. Mr. Sean also still really cares about me.
I remembered something. Didn't Mr. Sean ever write a book? What happened to the book he wrote?
The publisher withdrew all of his books, and destroyed the remaining unsold books. Somewhere, Mr. Sean kept a copy of the manuscript. Only he knows. The house he left, I finally bought it at a low price. Yes, the house I live in now.
I nodded in understanding. We ended our conversation about Mr. Sean and changing random chat topics. It didn't feel like we were in the Tulsa area. We pulled onto the highway, and Mr. Kim began to drive the car faster.
How do you know that girl?
I know her from my friend. He asked again while wearing a teasing face.
Did you really come all the way from Vermont to Oklahoma to see that girl?
Mr. Kim seemed to know my thoughts. He is very smart in analyzing things. I had to be careful in answering the question. I do intend to look for it. But my main intention is of course to continue my studies.
Alright.
He laughed like he was teasing me. I don't answer anymore. I'd rather stay off the topic. The sunny weather outside makes me feel good. The roar of the engine that sounded faintly in the cabin made me a little sleepy. In fact, traveling by car is very fast. I feel, just now I overslept for a bit. By now we had arrived in Oklahoma City, and headed out onto West Airport Road. Traveling by car does feel faster and better. Besides being able to relax, there is entertainment in the form of music and air conditioning. Mr. Kim plays a song from her favorite singer.
Melt my heart. 봄의 향기를 담은 그대를 보며 그냥 웃음만 짓게 돼. Don't know what to say. You are just like one spring day. 설레임을 주는 걸 언젠가부터였을까. 기다림의 끝에 너를 만났고 모든 게 새로 느껴져. Something in my heart. 이 맘 전하고 싶어. When you ring my valentine. Sunny day you make my dream come true. 행복한 너 그리고 나 우릴 비추고 With you by my side. 멈춘 시간 속 서로가 마주하는 이곳 I can see you through a little far away.
I am now on a path that I recognize. Regina Avenue. Soon I'll be on Southwest 89th.
We're almost there. Where is the house?
Road 111.
All right. Do I need to take you to the front of her house?
No, Mr. Kim.
All right, I understand.
By now I've arrived at Sherlie's house, Road 111. Mr. Kim pulled the car to the right of the road. Then I started to get out of the car.
I'm going to Walmart to buy some household items. When you're done, give me a call.
Okay, Mr. Kim. I said as I stepped into Sherlie's house. His car drove off. He honked one time as a sign that he was encouraging me. In fact, the nature of Mr. Kim is very different from Mr. Brian. Mr. Kim is friendly, relaxed, and places a high value on good manners. Mr. Brian was the complete opposite. He was firm, fast and honest. It's amazing, they are both the best role models for me. I walked towards the door of Sherlie's house. I climbed the wooden stairs, then started ringing the bell. Before I could ring the bell, the door to the house was already open. Sherlie greeted me with her sweet smile.
Hi, Allan.
Hey Sherlie. I greeted back with a smile. Am I bothering you?
No, come on in.
I slowly entered her house and sat on the chair I used to sit on when I visited this house. Sherlie went to the kitchen to prepare drinks. Her mother came out of the room and rushed to the kitchen. She did not greet me at all. Maybe she just didn't want to be disturbed. Sherlie brought a cup of hot tea and a plate of baked cookies topped with dried cherries.
Try this cake, Allan,
Said Sherlie while holding out a plate of cake. Okay, I'll try it.
Does it taste good?
I don't want to disappoint her. She hoping I said yes. Yes, delicious. I slightly lied. It actually tastes bland and a little musty.
Do you like it? Just spend it.
I just shut up and smile. I was poisoned. I took a tea drink to get rid of the musty taste in my mouth because of the cake she made earlier. Sherlie, I want to ask you.
What's that?
How did you know me, and call me at that time? She thought for a moment.
I found out from my friend. He gave me your number back then.
No way, I doubted her words. It looks like she's lying. Why did you call me?
I just wanted to get acquainted.
Could it be just to get acquainted? Why would she say she was being held captive? Sherlie, I'm serious. You said that you were being held captive.
Being held captive?
That time on the phone, that time you said you were being held captive?
Did you come here just to ask me something like that?
Sherlie suddenly pouted. What did I do wrong? I apparently forgot. Right now, what I'm dealing with is a woman. In my opinion, women are always cranky if questioned continuously. Are you angry? I asked her softly. She didn't answer. She just kept pouting at me. What should I do now? What am I bothering you?
Whatever.
Whatever? What kind of answer is that? Alright, I'll make it clear this time. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I won't ask that question again. I was looking for her, not to ask those kinds of questions. Besides, it has nothing to do with me. I was just pretending to be Allan. Sherlie wasn't so sullen anymore. We talked a lot about topics that didn't really matter. Just to break the ice. In my opinion, Sherlie is not the same age as Allan. She looks older than Allan. Probably 1 year above Allan's age. That means, 3 years above my current age. Having drunk too much tea to get rid of the musty taste of Sherlie's cake, I felt like going to the toilet.
Allan, did you tell this address to anyone else?
No. I asked Sherlie for permission to use the toilet at her house.
The toilet is on the right.
I got up and headed down the hallway. I saw some packed things piled up in a room. Is Sherlie moving out of this house? The toilet was also very unkempt. Could it be, they were lazy to clean the toilet? After the toilet, I sat back on the chair with Sherlie. This time, her mother also accompanied her to talk to me.
Allan, where do you live?
I live nearby. I lied.
Where?
I also don't know the name of the place by heart. Because, actually I just moved to Oklahoma City. I answered like that, so that I wouldn't be pressed.
Who was the person who drove you here earlier?
That was my brother.
Is he a cop?
A cop? I was pensive for a moment. No. Her mother was silent as she watched me. Then she smiled and nodded her head in understanding. Actually, Sherlie's mother was quite friendly. Sometimes she seemed suspicious of me. Even though I was just visiting. After all, Sherlie herself gave me her home address, and Sherlie also admitted it.
How long have you been living in Oklahoma? Allan?
2 months. I replied briefly.
During this time, do you know all the events that happened in Oklahoma City?
What events?
Like criminal cases, maybe?
I don't know about any of that. I answered honestly. Sherlie smiled. I didn't know what her question meant to me. But, I remembered about Allan's notes, when Sherlie asked Allan about criminal cases. Sherlie also mentioned a murder in Oklahoma. Was she referring to the same case? This means that the Sherlie in front of me is the same as Sherlie who called Allan. Because, their words are identical. But, why do I still feel like something is off?